Hey, 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 welcome everyone. Can you hear me, Dave? You're giving me signals. Okay.
I can
Yeah,
hear you.
welcome
Hear you.
everyone. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you
Welcome
now.
everyone. We appreciate you for stopping in on a Sunday afternoon. We got a good show for you today. Will Bitcoin hit $1 million at some point in the recent near future? Also, we're going to be talking about the big pullback, of course. We all are feeling that big pullback. Nobody wants to look at their portfolio right now because of the big pullback. Tons of crypto news out there we're going to get into. We're going to go over the charts. We have Dark Crash in the house with us to hit charts today for us. So we're looking forward to that. But first, let's say hello to our team members. And we had Jimmy, and Jimmy's now gone. So what's going on, Tex-Mex, Biomex?
Boom, 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 boom.
Just getting things ready to roll, and obviously I popped in the seat just as we went live, so good to see you all. Looking forward to today's show and see what we get into.
What's going on, Dave Digital?
Dave Digital. Man, tried to take a short here. Didn't work. So I tried another one here. Let's see if we can catch the bottom, or do we take it a little bit too early? We'll have to find out. Money flow looks good. 1 hour chart. Let's see.
Gotcha. Well, how are you doing today, Red Man?
I'm here. I'm thankful to be here. And this is the greatest crypto show in the world. Billy Goat Tales.
Amen. Well, Dave Digital, since you're in the yelling, barking mood there, why don't you say hello to chat for us?
Righty, let's go say hello to chat. So we had Jesse Gluck showed up first. Jesse, what happened, brother? Did you have an accident? You have to tell us all about it. Mike Bulmer came in second. We got Redman and Billy in there talking to each other. Andy's in there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Andy. Dark Crash was in there. Bellico X. Hola, Givers Gain, he says. Alexander G says hola to everyone. Happy Sunday. Then Jesse blew it up with just telling everybody what's up. K-Dig's in there. Redman's in there. Let me see here. I might be missing DDT over there giving Dark Crash the stage today. Let me see. Good to see you, DDT. He says, exclamation point GG. Rusty Bot's in there putting up the WD-40. Hey, Rusty, what's going on, buddy? We see here, Al Jr.'s in there. And that looks like everybody that I could see from this point. Who did I miss, Billy?
No, I think you got everyone. Great job. Great job. Who we're missing is Jimmy Jim. He better call Cams. We literally had a 2-hour meeting. We've been on here for 2 hours. And right before the show, something happened. I don't know what happened. So,
I used to have a buddy. We would go to the bars long time ago, but he was an older buddy. Back then, I was probably 30 something. He's probably 50 something. And just at the end of the night, he just pulls the old shuck and duck. And that just means you just turn around and Mikey was gone. He was just gone. He just went on about his business, didn't say bye, nothing. Just pulled the old shuck and duck. He was out of there. Maybe that's what Jimmy did. He pulled the old shuck and duck on us.
Ninja style.
Well, everybody, let's put some hearts in here for Jesse, who he had an accident with his bicycle and he broke his hip. So we need some hearts for Jesse because
way too young to be breaking a hip, bro.
Yeah, man, Jesse, if you need anything, you DM me, man. That's I know you're young, but it's never fun to break anything. So we love you, brother. Hope you recover and get well. Let us know what we can do, man, for sure.
Well, Billy, he does need something. He needs a hip. You gonna give him one?
Oh no, he needs his hip. He needs his hip mended. He doesn't need a new hip.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were just gonna send him a hip. It's like, I don't know.
No.
Giver's Gain.
Yeah, you don't want my old hip. I can tell you that much. that thing is not. I don't even want my hip. I don't even want my hip. So, all right, let's get into some bubbles. You ready for some bubbles, Red Man?
Let's go. Oh man, Dave's got me cracking up. Let me get myself out of the picture, and then we will get in. Boom. All right, on the hourly, we got. Let's see here. We got Conflux. Conflux is moving around, man. We're up 1.2% on the hour, but this thing over the year, 59%, 200% for the month. So if you're in Conflux, congratulations. It hasn't moved up any spots yet, but I think it's just a matter of time for this project because it has been screaming lately. Pumped Out Fun down 1.4%, but it's still up for the week, 8.8%. Didn't buy any, did not get into the Pumped Out Fun. If you did, congratulations, but stayed away from it. Let's see, the fart coin for Dave Digital. Yeah. It's up. It's up 0.7% for the hour, 1.5% for the day, but it is down 30%. So the fart coin is going down. Go figure on that one. All right, what do we got? What else we got in here? XLM getting a little pump right now, a little pump action, up 317% for the year. XLM, whoa, nice little recovery here. Keep your eyes on XLM. On the daily, we got all green on the daily, but we like big bubbles. We don't like little bubbles. We need big bubbles. And like I said, Conflux, Athena's up 10.3% for the day. It's up 132% for the month. It's up one spot, $3.75 billion market cap. So congratulations to Athena people. We got H bar up 7%. Say hello to the chat, my H barbarians out there. They're up 316% for the year. H bar. This is another one we were looking at. Curve Dow is up 5% for the day, 79% for the month, 215% for the year. Let's go on to the weekly. So we got a little bit of recovering to do because the weekly we're still down, right? So we need some more green in here to get back to zero. Let's see, TIA is down 18% for the week. AVAX is down after that nice little climb. AVAX is down 16.3%. It's down one spot to number 18. Not too worried about AVAX. They'll recover. Hyperliquid is down 12.1% for the week, and pretty much the same across the board. Let's go on to the monthly. We got Complex, or the same people I've been calling out, other than the Pingu Penguins. They're up 113% for the month. They're up 28 spots. Congratulations if you got into this project. Obviously, everybody waited for the airdrop to sell out. Once it did, this thing boomed. It's up 28 spots, number 43, $2.17 billion market cap. Congratulations to the Pudgies out there. And for the year, I think it's pretty much the same as it's been. Yeah, pretty much the same as it's been, Billy. And I'll send it back over to you, brother.
Yeah, man. Good. Yeah, Rusty, we'll get into that. Rusty had a question. Like he's wanting to get into something, but it's too nervous because we don't know kind of where we are. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? We know we're at the end of the cycle. So it's a great topic. We're going to get into that today, Rusty. So yeah. And on those pudgy penguins, I've just always been too nervous to get into that myself because I think I did trade it like 8 months ago. But like buying that and holding on is kind of like the Zora, Z-O-R-A. It's like, did this thing top out at 10 cents? It came down since then. But it seems like a pretty good project. So yeah, it's always a question mark, Rusty, for sure, man. But with that, let's hit some coin market cap market update. You ready for that, Tony?
Let's go. Well, I know that we've had a lot of red this week or last couple of days of the week, but overall the market cap is up 1.64% right here. We got 3.7 trillion and up slightly. Fear and greed is down. We were in the 60s last week and now we're down at 48. So kind of a balance between up and down, and obviously come down a little bit. And the altcoin season has dropped down as well to 39. I think we were up in the higher numbers, at least over 50%, I believe, last week. And so obviously there's a little bit of a reset. You got the tariff news, you got all that type of stuff that's hit not just the crypto market, but all the other traditional markets. And so it's just a little bit of a rebalancing. Looks like we're getting a little bit more upside today, though. We've got, I'm going to blow this up a little bit. We've got Bitcoin at 114,442, which is, I think well, on some charts, I think it got down to 12,000. Maybe it got down just below 112,000 the last couple of days. But we were back up to 114,000. I'm going to have to zoom out so I can get the daily and year to date. Seems like it's displaying a little different. Well, okay, on the last 7 days, Bitcoin does it look a little different than it normally does to you all?
Yeah, I think when you're sharing it, it doesn't give you all those options to see on your screen. Yeah.
Yeah, before it used to give us a little bit more options. Maybe CoinMarketCap has switched a little bit what they're doing. So right now it's showing the year to date. Let's see, maybe I can filter. Well, I'm not going to mess around with it a lot, but you can see that obviously Bitcoin took a little bit of a dive, and then this is the last 7 days chart at least, and we've come up from the bottom some. And so Bitcoin's at 114. We've got Ethereum at 34.94. Oh, we just dropped red and now white on the color there. So that's showing whether it's going positive or negative. On the year to date, we're up 4.88%. I guess we'll just go with those numbers today. And then XRP is at 291. Everything seems to be recovering a little bit. We'll see what this next week looks like for everybody. BNB at 751. Solana, still down on the year, but at least from what it's showing. I know we had a big pump late last year compared to where it was previously. Dogecoin, we're sitting at under 20 cents, and Cardano right around 72 cents. So a little bit of a correction this last week. Obviously, we know there's a lot of macro information going out there, and we can look at where the fear and greed was. Let me show
3.7 trillion, though. So you just remember what a month and a half ago is 3.2.
So here's the So here's the 30-day on the fear and greed. We're up in the 67, 60 range, and then now we're down at 48. But still looking pretty good, just a little bit neutral. Yesterday we're at 51, last week is 64, and last month at 54. So we're just about where we were starting last month, and we'll see where things go.
What else? What about the market cycle indicators? Click on that for us real quick, Tony.
All righty. Market cycle indicators. You got the fuel multiple status, undervalued. What else we have down here? We have the Pi cycle top indicators. And I've never seen the Bitcoin rainbow price chart indicator, but it looks like that's a thing. And
that's been there a while. Yeah. So scroll down. There you go. So top indicators. There we go. So yeah, it is showing. Look at that. So what I like on that, when I check this every once in a while, the ETF to Bitcoin ratio. We'll probably get in if we have time to some of the outflows on these ETFs if we have time today too. And you also have a Bitcoin bubble index too down there.
Yep,
so guys, checking out some of these indicators, if you just go to CoinMarketCap and kind of drill into some of these, it really can help you get a sense of the whole entire space and not just, we check the bubbles, we check the prices, but some of these indicators here. And what's real nice, if you don't know what they represent, you just click on the little I button, the information button, and it'll tell you exactly what they're measuring. So check it out. It's a great website. I'm sure all you OGs in our chat already know about this, but sometimes we forget, right? Like you checked something out a year ago. Well, here no echo, and then you come back to it. So real quick, let me say hello to Philly Wiz. Good to see you. Echoing.
Yep,
Randy.
Yep.
Good to see you. Let's see, who else do we have in here? We said hi to Poleman. Carl, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. And we know Poleman's eating some dinner. Rusty Bot, we said hello to you. I think we got everybody, right? Randy. Yeah, good to see everyone. Thanks for taking time. Volmer, Mike, thank you for taking time. Dave P, thanks for taking time. And we got to say hello to Jimmy Jim, because Jimmy Jim got a little he had to call cams before we started. So what's going on, Jimmy? Good to see you.
I had to call myself. Technical difficulties.
And don't forget,
Can you hear
guys,
me now?
we have some great new emojis in there that you could put in there. We have some great new emojis. I see Dave spamming them right now. So have
we
fun
got,
with those.
One for Jesse, the golden coin goat. We got the yip, especially when audio issues happen.
Yeah, Jesse, you have your own emoji here now. So hopefully that makes your heart feel a little bit better, even though you got a broken hip. We just mended your heart with that special Jesse.
The Jesse coin.
Tony tells me you picked that, so that's why we're using it. So, all right, let's get in. Oh, well, I've been talking, didn't pull up my first topic. Let me get over to our first topic today. Now I can't find it. Oh, doggone it. Let's see. Yep. Well, our first topic, and I'll look for it while we talk here, but our first topic was regarding Bitcoin hitting $1 million. We had a lot of CEOs coming out and suggesting that, hey, we're still in this to win this, and we think Bitcoin will hit $1 million. So Arthur Hayes, the former CEO of BitMEX, he forecasted Bitcoin hitting $1 million by 2028. Guys, 2028. Now, just yesterday, I read another article. Arthur Hayes did just come out also and say that he also believes that Bitcoin's going to retrace down to 100,000 yet this year. So keep this in mind. These are macro projections. In the micro, as we all know, anything can happen with crypto, right? But we had Arthur Hayes saying 1 million. Samson Mao, the CEO of Jan3, suggested Bitcoin could reach 1 million by 2028, and a few others. And some of them didn't say specifically 2028, like this Corey Clipston. He's the CEO of Swan Bitcoin, indirectly supported a $1 million Bitcoin prediction. And then, of course, we have Kathy Wood, ARK Financial, saying $1 million, but hers is 2030, not 2028. And then it just goes down from there. Even Michael Saylor has said that 2028, 2029, he definitely sees Bitcoin being at least 500,000. So we're not very far away. That's next cycle, of course. So with that, I thought it would be fun to get into what our own team's prediction is for Bitcoin to hit $1 million and when it will hit $1 million. We have a lot of people that are smarter than me that we just quoted saying that it's going to hit 1 million by 2028 or 2029. So I'll kick it around the room. I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say. Dave Digital, when do you think Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million?
Man, I'm definitely not one of the guys that are smart enough to tell you when Bitcoin's going to hit.
No, it's a guess. Yeah,
But
nobody knows. Yeah.
If we were just going to use logic, let's say that it took 10 years for it to get to from 10,000 to 100,000. So let's say it takes 5 years to get from 100,000 to $1 million.
So that's
2030.
2030.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about you, Jimmy Jim? When do you think it's going to hit $1 million a coin?
Well, I think it's further out than that. I'm thinking more 2035.
So 10 years, 10x.
So 10 years from now, $1 million.
think that's
wow,
reasonable.
man. I'll be 69 years old. That's crazy. How about you, Tony? What's your prediction?
Well, my DGen side thinks hit max leverage, YOLO into Bitcoin, and U.S. Reserve could blast into 1 million by 2028. But I don't know about that. I don't know if we're going to moon that quickly. I think my conservative side is more like diversify, stay patient, and we might hit it by 2035. So almost right in line with what Jimmy's saying. I just think we need adoption to grow and have a lot wider growth. Speaking of growth, why did Bitcoin go to therapy? Too many trust issues with fiat. Shh.
And how about you, Red? Exactly.
I got a different opinion on this. I believe that I'm gonna go Degen too, just like Tony, but
Not you.
no way.
Tony went right in the middle.
I think Bitcoin DeFi is gonna be massive. TradFi loves DeFi, so I'm gonna say Bitcoin DeFi is really gonna pump this thing. It's gonna pump Cardano. It's gonna pump Bitcoin. And I think we're going to see some mass adoption a lot quicker than a lot of people do. And I'm sticking with I agree with Dave on the 2030 outlook. It's a matter of time. I think there's going to be a lot more players coming in here pretty soon, especially when Clarity gets passed. I mean, you saw the jump that we made when the Genius Act got passed. You saw the jump. Wait till you see what's going to happen when Clarity Act gets passed, because that's what these big players are waiting for. They're waiting for the regulation, and once the regulation hits, we're going to be looking pretty good. So I think DeFi, Bitcoin DeFi is going to be a thing, and I think it's going to be massive.
Yeah. I tend to agree. I'm going to say 2030. I think we'll hit it. And it is because of all the legislation and all of the trillions that are sitting on the sidelines waiting for all this clarity, which is coming, and it's coming soon, right? So, guys, I think in my own, and it's a worthless opinion, right? All of our opinions are worthless. We don't know. But my worthless opinion would be that once we see this clarity, the money that's in this marketplace right now at the market cap it's at right now is going to explode. So when we start seeing a 50 trillion, 60 trillion market cap, which is doable with all the money waiting on the sidelines, I think it's very doable. So I would say that 2030, that would be my DJing guess. And hey, hopefully we get to all come back and look at this in 2030 and see where we're at, right? But if we knew, we probably wouldn't be on YouTube right now, right? Maybe we would, but we probably wouldn't be on YouTube right now. So a lot of smart people suggesting big numbers, and people that are smarter than me. And that's most people. So a lot of smart people projecting big numbers for Bitcoin. And one of the takeaways from this market cycle is I should have had more money in Bitcoin, right? So that was my takeaway from last cycle. And I did put a lot more of allocation into Bitcoin this cycle. But I could have put more, and I really spread my love out across a lot of alt projects that have not performed as well as I thought they would. Now it's not over. I still believe we're in the beginning of altcoin season, which brings up your chart that you showed me prior to the stream, Red, from Ben Cowan. If you want to pull that up, it's a perfect segue, and then we'll get into some charts with Dark Crash right after this.
Oh, I'll bring it up right now. Hold on.
You can pull it up, yeah. Well, he's pulling that up. It's Ben Cowan is very well respected in the crypto spaces and around the industry. Always has a lot of good insight So if you're not following him, check him out because he really breaks down the macro in a very simplistic way, in a way that we can all understand. So that's why I tune into a lot of his stuff. But go ahead, Red.
Yeah. So what he was talking about is, well, right here it says, in all prior post-halving years, 2013, 2017, 2021, Bitcoin was green in July and in August and September. So far this year, we have a green July. If August is also green, we might
Hold
get
on,
a
Red.
seasonal-
Hold on. We got there.
Okay.
We got like 6 people. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's all good. And then he said, so far this year we've had a green July. If August is also green, we might get a seasonal drop in September before a bounce in October. And you know what? This is the way I'm leaning, because if you look at the history, we've had a green July, green August, red September. That's 2013. 17, we've had green July, green August, and a red September. And then you got 21, we had green July, green August, and a red September. This year, and Billy made a great point, because I mean we're only in day 3 of August. How could you really call August a green month yet? So he is a little ahead of the curve here. Maybe he knows something we don't know, but it definitely looks like things will be shaping up here, especially if we get that little V-shaped recovery on Bitcoin here pretty soon. It looks like August could be a green month, but that's all speculation. And it's also speculation that September would be a red month. So just keep that in mind. But I look at the history, and the history says this is what happens pretty much every single time. And I'll be looking to buy Bitcoin in September.
Yeah. So if it does play out and August turns out to be green, I mean, that is just one indicator, one thing to look at, and you match that with a lot of other confluence, and it could play out. Definitely, there's a pattern there. Definitely some historical data that will help you lean that way for sure. But anyways, I wanted to get to that prediction. I thought that was cool. Let's see what happens. And with that, I think, Red, you got a little book that's out there that you want to let people know about, don't you?
Yeah. So the book is out, The Tricky Wolf and the Wise Boy. The link is on Billy Goat Tales Twitter page. The handle is at Billy Goat Tales. You can find the link there. If you don't want to click on the link, all you got to do is open up your Amazon app, put Billy Goat Tales in the search bar. It'll bring up Billy's book, Bridge to Bitcoin. By the way, that one has been edited. It is the good version. You can buy that one. And then there's mine, Tricky Wolf and the Wise Boy. And pick both those up. If you have kids in your life, you want to talk about blockchain, you want to talk about Bitcoin, you want to talk about making good decisions. This is our way of giving back to the community. So with that,
Thanksgiving and Christmas is coming. It'd be great Christmas gifts, and we want to impact the young people, and we want to educate them regarding being safe and regarding cryptocurrency. And by the way, for all of you that have already purchased the book on Amazon, thank you very much. We appreciate all the support for that. It really, really does help. And also, those first 200 copies were error copies. So we have not even begun traditional advertising and marketing for those books. So those books, as you know, most of you know, it's going to be a 5-set series. Jimmy Jim's is the next author that's going to be writing his book. We're going to launch it at the very, very end of Q4, launching in Q1 actually, but we're going to start talking about it a little bit more at the end of Q4. And it's going to be a 5-set series. However, the first book, the book that I authored, when we launched it, it was new to us, and there was a steep learning curve, and so those first books were all error copies, man. So a little bit embarrassing, but hey, we're doing this via this team, so everybody makes mistakes. But anyways, just wanted you to know the new book that's up there is the final version of the Bridge of Bitcoin. With that, it's time to introduce Dark Crash Dave Digital. What's going
Hello,
on,
everyone.
Dark Crash?
Oh, I'm doing great. Living the dream, as they say.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for taking the time to come and help us out and do some charts. We've been looking forward to this. So let's pull your charts up here. Let's get busy. Let's go over some Bitcoin.
Yeah, let's start with the monthly here. And I just want to start off with one word, doom. We are looking at something pretty interesting here. Following what we had was the trigger wave leading into the bull run of last cycle. We see that we had our massive monthly momentum hump eventually slump. Even though money flow was burning nice and hot, we could expect possibly something to shoot back up. But no, we actually had, well, we did have a bit of lack of better words, dead cat bounce leading into the bear market. But here, traditional patterns, especially in wedges, they act in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s, and right here we're about to hit that 5. And leading into what was said earlier about the monthly cycles and a slump in September, for lack of better words, singing Green Day's song "Wake Me Up When September Ends." I feel like something like such is really going to happen, and then we could get a spooky October where we get a shock drop leading into a massive boost. As far as dipping down to 100K goes, I feel like that is most likely due to the simple volume range we got sitting here. It's not immediately apparent because my volume turned off, but if we do, oops, my bars are in the way. There we go. If we slide down into the 2-week, we can see that 100K really is a voluminous area that I feel like would be a viable pullback, especially since we're now pulling in that weekly red dot. Money flow is sort of just averaging out. Obviously, it's been burning pretty good. Strength still really high. RSI is starting to split. And of course, our VWAP or volume is cresting down, about to hit and flip into the negatives. All that being said, I see no more than a 20% pullback at most, which is exactly what we need, is to swing below this, how do I say this support spider line that we've finally managed to crack and hold a weekly candle above. Of course, we're getting this spinning doji that is more indicative of a sharp twist to the downside at this moment, especially on the Heikens. We should be looking not just to retest our spider line here, but to retest our psychological line below it and getting back into this massive void that we've been bing-bonging around for some time now. That being said, our projection going forward, I would say in the next few weeks, leading to second, third week of September, probably going to look a little something like this, leading down just kind of like a little drop in the bucket with a sharp knife, leading to maybe 98K at the worst, just because of where the how do I say this, these average waves are starting to clump. So that kind of zone of activity, that liquidation area, for lack of better words, is kind of where I feel like a lot of our low leverage longs are sitting. I don't have personally access to heat maps or book maps or any orders like that, but speaking purely theoretically, I believe that's where it would land. That being said, let's dive into some smaller time frames now. We have actually come back and retested the spider line visually on the smaller time frames, because remember, I am running average candles, so every time I flip between these massive time frames, we can see different story, as in like as much as the monthly candles, certainly not touching a spider line, but drop right down to the daily. Yes, it is, but that's because of how our averages run. That being said, we're kind of at the bottom of the most recent downward movement. We could just see a little bit of a bounce up, but this is looking a lot like a more consolidated Bart Simpson, for lack of better words, where we're more than likely to at least see something in the 108K range in the near future, if not 100K flat, like everyone else seems to be saying. So as we zoom in, even further down to the 4-hour, we could see a little bit of a, how do I say this? The V is finally forming, at least in the short term. But we got to remember that it hasn't even really regained any form of true strength. Money flows in the red, momentum still down below the zero line, even though it appears to be clipping. We got to understand that this volume wave all the way up here in conjunction with the clip, it just, to me, it screams doom again. So as bright as the days are, and as bright as they have been, floating in these 110K range for quite some time now, we got to have some sort of natural pullback. These 10% dips are nice, and we feel comfortable with them, but that's the problem, is we are too comfortable, and I feel like we're overdue, especially based on that monthly momentum. We are overdue for some sort of negative action. So what do you guys think in the Bitcoin scene before I slide into Ethereum?
I see those lines opening up, getting wider and wider, and that's always scary. You want to see those things get tight so you can get a nice pull, a nice squeeze, and then shoot up higher. So that and money flow looks like from here, it looks like it is starting to slip down. It looks like it crested and went down a little bit. So yeah, man. And thinking about what Ben Cowan said, right? We never know if we're going to last through like August and then have all this happen, or if it's going to be 3 or 4 days away. We just don't know. I personally just bought some Bitcoin, just so I have full disclosure, for my long-term bag. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people could say, well, why would we do that? Like in 2022, you could get it at $16,000, while you're buying at the top. It's more of a long-term hold, and I don't want to waste it on alts. Getting back to Rusty Bot's question, he wants to throw some money in, where do you put it at? Not financial advice, just what I did, but I'm going to hold my long-term stuff in Bitcoin, and I know it's going to go down eventually, right? But you can always, like Jimmy brings up, you can always borrow on your Bitcoin, right? You can always borrow on your Bitcoin. So my goal is just to add more Bitcoin to the bag. Just keep adding Bitcoin. That's my thesis. So yeah, man, that's what I think. Anybody else got any comments on that, Dave? Anybody?
Yeah, it doesn't look good. So if you have the anchored VWAP from the recent top, we're definitely lost that already. So I think we might go back up and retest it, and then maybe some more downtime.
Mm-hmm. And just to what you were saying about buying in most recently, I could completely understand why, especially from the technicals. We've broken out of that range, this automatically calculated range with the trendoscope. And we are touching on this strength line, the DVSI strength line of CryptoFace's work. And while it does spell like all these things, split RSI, stochastics, red dot, money flow still burning hot, but obviously we see this small voluminous clip, which to me says like it just seems like it's dumping. And all this pressure up top feels like a squeeze down. And I completely understand where you're coming from. And on full disclosure to everyone else, I do also turn all my cash back either into Bitcoin or Kronos, obviously. And likewise, I have done the same. That being said, we shouldn't be also throwing in all of our money all at once. This goes right back down to dollar cost averaging, especially in moments like these where we're kind of at a critical decision point. We just left a channel. Anything could happen. It could be a nice little dip down to get you some cheaper coin, or you could have just made the best choice of your life, leveraged into some futures, bought some spot, whatever it may be. And then we could just be flipping, retesting strength, and then off to the races again, at least in the short term. But yeah, should always be mindful, not just of what we're seeing in the short term, but what could be happening in the long term. Because yes, we could see a little bit of happy times, but we got to realize when in doubt, zoom out, because there's some scary times coming. I'm sure we've had it way too good for too long. And yeah, even in looking at things like the more specifically the dominance of Ethereum, that guy's getting pretty hot. Like even though it's been bleeding extremely hard, it's getting kind of hot again. And what I figure going forward, at least in terms of Ethereum dominance this cycle, I feel like it could be. Let's just zoom out for a sec, see where it was over the times. Let's see here. Okay, so at its peak around the last cycle, it was in the low 20s at best, not even mid 20s. Where could dominance go for Ethereum this cycle? My guess is mid-high 20s. Why would I say that? We are just facing a massive exodus from the current financial system and leading into Bitcoin and Ethereum, respectively, the decentralization and dApps that come with Ethereum and the sublayer networks is just, I just feel like it's a beautiful thing, and it's going to lead to a massive spike, at least in the short term, from 11 to 14%. Just because of the averages and the volume point areas. But yeah, that would probably push our lovely little Ethereum above 5K in price target, which right now, by the way, it's still extremely hot. Like, it has not stopped printing money, for lack of better words, despite being in this literal crab market. So that's kind of like the status of Ethereum today, is mostly crab still. And it's sitting in more or less, I wouldn't even call this Bart Simpson. This is more or less a head of shoulders kind of forming right now, at least in the daily.
Mhm.
So in terms of Ethereum, we could see a drawback from my perspective as early as the next 2 weeks, down to 3,200. And then after that, in the Septembers, or we could go even below 3,000 is my guess. That's my doom story. But let's talk gloom for a sec, or the positivity. As far as that goes, like, we could see anywhere between 4,000 to 5,000 in the next 5 months, as early as March, or as late as March, I mean.
Yeah. Well, we are big lovers of Ethereum. And I will say I did sell a lot. I have just I don't know what the price was, but it was like a week ago whenever it started pulling back, I did sell some of my ETH. I still have quite a bit, but I still sold some of it because I wanted to get into more Bitcoin. So, but I'm a long-term ETH holder. I like ETH. I think it's going to be a good investment. And with all these ETFs and the inflows, like we just had a stream, a week ago, when the inflows beat Bitcoin's inflows. That's big news with the ETFs. So, we'll see, man. It's scary times. I know a lot of us have been wanting these alts to just do something, right? Bitcoin did its job for me. For me, the way I look at it is this cycle, Bitcoin did exactly what we hoped it would do. Check the box. It did great. If that was a high at 123 and it comes down, I'm going to say Bitcoin performed exactly as we all hoped it would. Now we got to see the alts do that. And I know it's hard to believe, but I still feel like it's going to happen. I really do. And the herd, a lot of the herd saying, I don't know if it's going to happen now. We're getting late in the season. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think it is going to happen. And that's just my boomer worthless opinion there, Andy. So, but yeah, man. What about ADA? When you're done, can we hit ADA real quick?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm actually just having a huge brain fart. So let's slide over into ADA right away here and see if I can come back to that.
That's okay.
So let's zoom out really big here and get rid of some of these indicators. Kind of make it a little cleaner. Okay, so last cycle, top of over $3. Where are we at now in terms of what could be considered the cycle? Which again, this could be a whole bunch of a nothing burger. This is what I was about to say, but forgot. This could be a whole bunch of a nothing burger. Yes, Bitcoin did exactly what it needed to do. But looking over at our alts, we're like, come on, just poking it with a stick. You know, that meme. And realistically, that could be the psychological thing we need, is to have a whole nothing burger alt season. And then sometime in the future, 2028, 2030, my personal opinion, 2035, when we finally see that mega cycle leading into $1 million Bitcoin, that's when we will also have the alts dragged along properly. Because right now I feel like, obviously, with with celebrities and companies and presidents all jumping into the whole crypto scene in the last few years. Like, that was amazing. Obviously, it's breathed life back into crypto, which could have, for lack of better words, died over the last cycle simply due to the inflationary measures of governments. But, looking at Cardano here, I see a lot of hope, a lot of volume, a lot of interest, and a hell of a lot of potential. Where do I see it potentially going, at least in this cycle? Well, let's look at this volume range. It's kind of how do I say this? Clustered, at least in this zone, between about 1.7 and $2. Could we see another spike up there? Yes, I would say so. But would it ever be able to compete and pass XRP at this point? I don't think so, quite honestly. It's done its job, much like Bitcoin, but like XLM against XRP, because I believe those are more closely related than Cardano and XRP. I feel like percent wise, in terms of raising price and performance, it would probably be about maybe 10-20% less performance than an XRP will, at least in the short term. So let's zoom in just a tad.
How did we get on? Are you just making the general comparison?
Comparison.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
And their functionalities, because Cardano's not as transactional, I should say. It's more utility. We know XRP to be high speed, low fee, much like XLM. So that's why I'm saying, like, they got their own niches, right? But still, they're kind of those mid-high market cap coins that just, for lack of better words, have been bumping fists for some time, trying to duke it out for being on top of each other.
I personally feel like XRP and ADA, go back to 2022, go look at the price of XRP and go look at the price of ADA. Hey man, you made your money. I mean, we made good profit on both those projects. Yeah, we didn't. If you're holding XRP still, which I am, but you could have sold. Same with ADA. I think I bought a big bag of it at 24 cents, right? And it went over $1. I mean, if you are in it just to, for the pure make the gains, it gave you that opportunity, is what I'm trying to say. I like Bitcoin, right? It gave you that opportunity. So anytime you 4X, man, come on. I know it's crypto. Everybody wants 1,000X, but you 400, 500, 600%. If you're in it just for the profit and you're not tied to the project, like I am more tied to the ADA long-term project, then you had your opportunity. Same with XRP. Like, it's been a good run for XRP.
Yeah, it's all about the utility and how it serves you. Honestly, you could just get into something because of how it serves other people as well. And that's the name of the game for investing, right? And trying to just understand what the people need, not just what you need. Because then that's where you can find more voluminous trades, obviously. Again, not financial advice, but
right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Go ahead. Did we finish that? I think I interrupted you. Did we give what we're thinking it's going to do here in the next week, or what? Because it looked like the chart you were on, it certainly looked like it's flagging out to me. I don't know if that was the daily chart or.
No, that would have probably been the weekly.
A weekly, yeah.
Yeah. No, we definitely have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it kind of came out and retested and made support. And then, of course, we're seeing a bearish doji, which leads me to believe, especially with the way this is cresting right here, that we're at least going to see a shock to the downside and bring ourselves below the strength line, which is kind of sad to see, considering how much and how far Cardano's been fighting since the bear market to get back above and form support and proper strength, which again leads me into every time. Thanks to CryptoFace introducing the strength line, it's much more of an indicator of bearish and bullish sentiment than anything. Of course, we have our massive drawdowns. Yes, that is bearish, but where does the bearish sentiment truly hit? It was definitely below that line. And then, of course, we feel the relief and everything there. But that being said, leading right up to that little candle right there, that little red guy, that in conjunction with this says...
Jill.
Hey, G!
Yeah.
Sometimes
Again, I don't want to
stop
be the
'em.
doomsayer here, but there's red in the market. That's what I'm seeing right now, at least for the next few weeks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Billy, that siren was Alexander G. Gave away 5 Billy Go Tales memberships.
Oh,
Oh.
man.
Wicked.
Nice.
Go.
Man.
Drink water to that.
Yep. Yeah, and if I can on E, I mean, it could go either way, Billy. I don't know if you've looked at it recently, but according to the Frankie Candles way of doing things, if you look on the daily, this is the range that it was in here, and it may get caught underneath that value area high. If it does, we all know the next spot. So, I mean, if it can hold that value area high, then it's got a good chance. If it can't, we all know what happens next. So,
Yep. 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 Yep.
we're at a turning point.
Wick, sir, good to see you in the chat. Good to see the Wick, Wick's wife. Good to see you. We appreciate you. Jay Violet, good to see you. Julie, yeah. Julie's in here. Thanks for stopping in, Julie. And hopefully we did put up Julie's YouTube, right? Make sure. And Emma, my niece Emma is down there. Jimmy's niece Emma is down there. Randy, good to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And the Crab Man, Crypto Crab Man, appreciate you for stopping in too. You guys are
And
awesome.
Mortimer Duke is a first-time visitor, so we welcome him in.
Trading places, I love it, man. Mortimer Duke, remember that, Jimmy?
Yeah.
We have some new emojis, so use the yep. That's a Jimmy Jim original right there. So good to see you, Wick. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Hopefully you and the wifey had something nice to eat for dinner tonight. Cyrus, good to see you. So yeah, let's get in. Dark Crash, feel free to stay around and up to you, brother. Totally up to you. But we wanted to talk because we're going to talk next about this whole dip, right? So I do have a little slide here that I can bring up. Let's see here. Share. Boom. 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 There we go. So, and Dark Crash was just talking about it, right? Where are we going with Bitcoin? We had our predictions a long term for Bitcoin, and we also know that she slid, but we also know the entire stock market, guys. Last Friday lost a lot of value. I think with all the ETFs, we're definitely tied more to the stock exchanges than we ever have been, to the macro marketplace than we ever have been. So that I think we're going to see more of that. My own personal feeling about it because of just all the ETFs, and we're talking about a lot of money in these ETFs through all of them, right? Not just Bitcoin, but also Ethereum, also Solana. Doggone it! I just hold on a second. I don't know what happened here. Hold on, guys. Let me get back to my screen.
Oh, Billy.
There we go. I got to get a mouse pad is what I got to get. Anyways, so Bitcoin slips below 115, but analysts still predict the 1 million. That was part of the 1 million long term. That was a slide I couldn't really find before. But we also know that, well, let me just read this. Crypto market is shifting gears, and while headlines focus on Bitcoin's recent pullback, investors are already looking ahead with a Bitcoin dipping under the 115. Well, it actually went lower than that, right? Some view it as a signal of cooling momentum, but others, it's the calm before another major run. One question keeps surfacing if Bitcoin still has room to 10x long term. And that's part of what we talked about before. But what I want to see, and we'll kick it around the room, and we talked about it with the coin market cap update with you, Tony, a little bit. I really want to see some action in these alts. And now Ben Cowan does say, and he's been steady as it goes for months now. It asked the total market crypto that 0.25 level for altcoins. And if it does, he feels that's the bottom. We'll bounce out of there, and thus on goes altcoin season. I think with this pullback, here we are. I mean, are we going to go down there? If we do, I think everything's still intact. I think everything's still in play. I said a couple of weeks ago, I felt personally like all of these factors, guys, if you think about it, Bitcoin's dominance has to keep going down. Ethereum has to run first, right? We have to see a pullback so that we can have that big run up. Now we're into the pullback. It feels to me like this is gameplay theory. It feels to me like this everything that we have to have happen to have a chance of the cycle being intact is kind of playing out. So that's my feeling on it with this pullback. And the tariff talk, like you alluded to, Tony, the total the stock market the connection now to it. I think everything is playing out the way it's supposed to. But that's just my feeling. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is, on a macro level, there was talk of the tariffs. There was tariffs that were put in place. And then you had the weak job data that came out this week, that tanked stocks, which also, as you mentioned, the ETFs are heavily, added to several portfolios now. So I think that hit to the stock market is going to bring down the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency markets. So there's part of that. Then you have the dollar supposedly is stronger, is what they say. And then, like I said, the tariff stuff. So I think there's just a lot of macro stuff that's starting to affect it. And then, you had a whole bunch of whales that just dumped when Bitcoin was at the top. I mean, I think in 2021, there was a big whale dump on Bitcoin and then the market recovered. So I think it's going to recover. I think it's just we're in this sort of phase. And I love the chart that or the red-green, chart that Red pulled up earlier, because that really kind of showed maybe some historical stuff that we can go back at. When we scale out, when we get away from the tree and see the whole forest, we can kind of get some glimpse. And another thing other people have been talking about, you have the crypto liquidation heat map. Like I can share it right here on screen. So you have this trading view. Here's a crypto liquidation heat map showing a lot of that liquidity that was pulled up right here and grasped during the drop. So now there's some more liquidation up at the top. So I think there's a lot of liquidations that happened just in this last few days.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Jimmy Jim?
Yeah, I mean, last run we had several big pullbacks. I mean, I think we could probably qualify this one as the second big pullback that we've had this run. I mean, we probably had 3 or 4 last run. What are we, a month away from possible interest rate cuts?
Yeah, September.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of grin and bear it until then. And if they do cut rates and we don't see some significant rebound, I think that might set a few red flags in my head, make me really look hard at the situation. That's for sure.
Yep. What about you, Red Man? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I think a key indicator is Bitcoin dominance. So Dark Crush, if you could give us your little 2 cents on the Bitcoin dominance chart, that would be great, man. Because I think that's going to tell a story as well.
Yeah, just got it pulled here. Let's zoom out into the weekly version of it. All right, so this is what we want to see: a massive shift in volume to the downside. It's been a swell time since prior to.
Oh,
did we lose you? Did he
Froze.
freeze?
Did he freeze?
crash froze.
Did
I
he
still
freeze
see
or
his
is it one of
chart.
those? Swell.
I still see
I
his
love
chart, but I think
Yeah,
he
we still
froze
see
up.
his chart.
Let's see. Oh, we
Let's
lost the
not make a
crash,
meme
man.
out of it.
Let's not make a meme out of it. But yeah, it's a good point, Red Man. So you can even
I
go.
have I have the chart up. Let me get
Yeah,
out
go
of the way
ahead.
real quick. So this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. As you can see, it took a big fall. Let's measure what that is. So from the top all the way to the bottom, we're looking at, well, so right now we're looking at almost 6%. As it's sitting at 62.17 right now, 62.57. Anyways, that's a big drop and then the alts pumped. But now I think these alts are now bleeding into ETH. But that's a different story for another time. But I think that this thing does not look like it's going to get the bounce and then skyrocket. I'm sorry, it just doesn't look that way. And then looking at the VWAP, your VWAP's coming down. It's oversold RSI. Well, RSI is low, and then your RSI, your stochastic RSI on the bottom is super high. So that just tells me this thing's going to come down more, which would be good for Ethereum and the alts. But we'll have to see. I mean, there's a lot of green on my alts. There's a lot of green out here right now. There's a couple red. The dollar's taking a little dump today. There's the dollar right there. But I think the bigger picture is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Let me see if I can pull that back up. Yeah, there we go. I think that's bigger picture. I think this thing does one of these where it comes up here, it'll hit resistance, and then it'll just dump. So we're gonna make lower highs, Billy, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think that's accurate, Red.
Yeah, exactly. And I that's why I feel like big picture, everything's kind of lining up. And Jimmy brought up a good point there too. Then the interest rate cuts, which is another thing that should stimulate altcoin season, right? I mean, it should help with that scenario too. So I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people are saying right now that they don't know if we're going to get an altcoin season. I'm still, and again, worthless opinion, just for my own investment thesis. Nothing I do or say should be taken as financial advice for sure. But for my own investment thesis, that's my play. That's exactly how I'm playing it.
Let's look at the chart one more time, Billy. So I think these guys are a little premature because if you look at October, November, and December historically, October mega bullish month, right? November mostly bullish month, and then you have December, which is kind of half and half. But you have these 2 months here, October and November, mega bullish in October, mega bullish in November. And then you go into a 50-50 type deal. And then we'll go into 2026. And that's just too far out to speculate at this point. But yeah, so far this year, we've had 1, 2, 3 red months, 1, 2, 3, 4, and possibly a 5. We'll see what happens. 5 green months. So it's purely speculation what could happen, but in October, November, your chances are pretty good of getting a green month out of that part of the year.
So in 2021, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red months. Even November, look at that, guys. In November of 21, it was red month. So when did we hit the high in 2021? The second high? Wasn't it? I thought it was November. The second. I thought it was that. So it must have ended up, right? So it must have ended up being totally red, because there you have it. There's the factual results of that, right? But yeah. So in 2021, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reds and 6 greens, and that there you have. Now go down to 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 greens. 8 greens
Mm.
in 17. So that just tells me that, I mean, that's the result, but there's not a pattern there. There's certainly not a pattern there as far as what it does throughout the year, monthly. You see what I'm saying? 17 to
Yeah.
21. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. But I mean, October, you could pretty much say October could be a mega bullish month. I mean, it's shown it in the history. But yeah. I mean, crypto's highly volatile. It could all go to zero tomorrow.
So what was it in
That's kind of
17?
what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it was green
17.
in 17 and 21. It was
In 21,
green.
it was almost 30% pump in October 21. So usually October on average it's up 221%, or that was 2000. Sorry, we're up on average 28.9% for October on average, and that's for Bitcoin only.
Hey, Dave, Dutchie's signaling you.
I see him.
Good to see you, Dutchie. Good to see you. Who else? Justin, thank you for stopping in. Appreciate you. Pole man, hope dinner was good. Yeah, so it's interesting. We'll see where we get to. With that, it's time to talk about Pole Man and talk about the Lake House giveaway. You ready for that, Dave Digital?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, we can't wait to go to Lake Hartwell with Poman and his entourage here coming up this October. And that is all because he won. What did he win, guys? He won the Billy Goat Tales drawing for all of our Easter egg holders for our NFT book. And so right here on our website, billygoattales.io, you can go right here on the right side. Mine shows mint info. And you come right here and you can find out, and you click on that official mint site. That's our official mint site for our NFT book, which is broken down into 10 different sections. Each section has 3 chapters of our 30 chapter NFT book. And not only is it a great read, you've got we've got the different chapters in there, and it's a good read. At the same time, if you're an Easter egg holder, which is about 10% of all of our NFTs have Easter eggs, then you get entered into the drawing that we're going to have annually to join us on this trip. And there's going to be, of course, that also gets you into our Discord, into the NFT holder section. You just have to attach your Cardano wallet and do some verification there. And you can get into Red's research channel. You can get into Billy's investments channel. And then there's a holder only chat. And we're going to be bringing, of course, more utility there as we continue to launch out. And this is what when you click on that Mint website, you can come here. It's 20 ADA for whitelist members. Whitelist is anybody who is a speaker. We had over 170 speakers on our that inputted into what the book became. And then our public sale is 25 ADA right now. So you can jump in there and grab some NFTs. I'll go ahead and connect to our Lace wallet. You'll get to see a little bit. Oh, hold on.
Well, thanks, Tony.
Oh, I used the wrong. Sorry, I used the wrong. I used the wrong. Wrong browser. Anyways.
Yeah. Just tell me your password and I'll try it.
It's a foodie event.
And so on that weekend, we're going to the Fall for Greenville. It's going to have taste, tunes, and taps.
Yep.
Still looking to see if they've announced. No, stay tuned for the music lineup. I hope that it's a teaser. And maybe Billy's going to provide us some actual photos here soon of that actual lake house. I mean, maybe it's just going to be a surprise. Maybe you have to wait until after the event happens to be able to get those photos. But we're looking forward to it.
I heard Billy was waiting on that lake house to be delivered from Amazon.
Guys.
Yeah, so every other week or so, we'll share images that look like a little tent next to an outhouse or something like that, just to tease Billy. But we know it's going to be a great time. The whole team has their flights booked, and we're ready to head out to South Carolina and have a good get together out there. So.
Yep.
But that, our NFT is not, we're not saying that it has any value, but it really is a foundational thing to get to be part of the crew. And if there is one membership level, if you end up choosing to be a member, and at that top membership level, you will actually receive an NFT, one of the NFTs from the team. Just make sure you go into our Discord, create a ticket, and give us your Cardano wallet so that we can send you that NFT. We'll mint it ourselves. We'll mint it and then send it over to you.
I think we are echoing. Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to. We shut that down.
All right. If we're echoing again, I'm gonna jump out and jump back in.
You do that.
No, so we have fun here, Billy Go Tails guys. So really, our whole NFT project, we're building around that. So it's more of a like years to come what we're doing with it, right? So we don't want anybody to go out and think they're going to make $1 million on this, or they're even going to get more than what they paid for it, because we're going to pack it with value every single year. The giveaway is going to be something that we do every single year, and all you have to do is just own it. It costs $25. So, and it's how we build here, Billy Go Tails. But no pressure. We're not trying to sell anything. If you want to jump into the membership, into the club, try it, give it a shot. We do have some ideas for next year's trip, though. But of course, we'll be talking about that with Poe Man, because he won. I can't wait to see you, Poe Man. It is coming up. I mean, we were talking about this, back in January, and here we are, man. It's coming up. The team has their flights, and we're going to have a good time. And
did we get your flight booked already?
I can drive it, man. I can drive it. I do have to go over and get some pictures. I've just been kind of busy, but we'll get some pictures before the event. Sure, we can do that. We'll make that happen. With that, where are we going next, boys? There was something I was going to say, and now I forgot what it was. So let's just do this. We'll move on to our next slide, which is about the government crypto project. Let me pull this up. Boom. Yeah. So the SEC launches Project Crypto. Now, why is this important to us? Why do we even care? Well, a lot of us are from the United States of America. Not all, but a lot of us from the United States of America. And this is, of course, we always in the news of late, the last few months. It's a bold initiative aimed at positioning the United States as the world leader in blockchain and digital assets. Now, for our team, just think about that. We were here. We were part of it, right? Gary Gensler. Everybody was trying to do the right thing. All these exchanges were trying to do the right thing. And they just kept getting rugged by this guy. And now look at us. It's like, this is so amazing. And now we're having all this legislation come through. And as the world leader is what we're trying to be. And I don't know that we are yet. I do know that I just looked at a chart that shows the most amount of Bitcoin holdings, and it is in America now. I think back when I started, like really digging in 2020, it was China. I think China was kind of leading the market. But Atkins emphasized that America stands at a historical crossroads, much like earlier moments in financial history when innovation reshaped markets. From the I think that was supposed to be Bretton Woods, right? But Bretton Agreement that birthed the New York Stock Exchange to the rise of electronic trading. So they're putting it right up there with that kind of stuff. I did watch the little clip on some of the news that came out last week from the meetings that they had, and I found it very interesting that they are continuing to talk about specific projects, such as Ethereum, such as Solana, such as XRP, such as Cardano, and we don't see. You would expect, everybody would expect, right, that when they're drilling down and talking about specific projects, Chainlink is always a part of like the apparatus that they speak about. You would think that, man, you would see some real movements like in traditional stocks back in the day. If that happens, you get a nice bounce. You just last week on CNBC, I listen to CNBC all the time. When they have earnings or when they say, hey, this product's going to be implemented into this other company's product, what happens? The stock has a bounce. I find it so interesting that it just hasn't been the case with crypto. That connection just always doesn't resonate through to price with crypto. And yet on other things it does, and mostly in the meme world, right? So like if Elon tweets about a certain meme, right, Doge, look what happens if Trump tweets about a certain project. It seems like there's movement in the meme world of crypto, but in these hardcore projects like XRP, like ADA, like Ethereum, you don't always see that one-to-one bounce. I find that very interesting, as it's so different than traditional stocks. What do you think about that, Redman? What's the connection in your mind?
I think the biggest thing is trying to figure out for me in this, because I hadn't done very much research on this project crypto thing with the SEC, so I'm just learning about it for the most part. But I guess on July 31st is when this happened. Transforming an initiative aimed at modernizing security regulations. They're going for on-chain market integration. The initiative focuses on moving key market functions. This is not the SEC that I'm used to. I'm used to the SEC that rules over crypto, that wants to shut everything down. And Paul Atkins, I'm seeing him on Fox, and it's a breath of fresh air, because now I don't feel like if I invest into a coin, is it going to get black marked? Is it going to get sued by the SEC? Is it going to lose 90% of its value? It's good for builders, right? And that's what we're trying to foster. I mean, that's what Trump was trying to foster in America. He's trying to foster innovation. And the only way he could do that is if these three-letter agencies get on board and start coming up with favorable crypto policies. And the SEC is doing it. So hats off to them. Especially the support for super apps and DeFi. Man, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of things to be bullish about in this project crypto thing they got going on.
Yeah, so the SEC has three pillars, right? And every time there's a different administration, some of it's politics, it always is, and you can't really wipe that clean. But the steady piece of the SEC is, number one of their cornerstones is to protect investors. And then number two is to maintain the fair, orderly, and efficient markets. And then number three is to facilitate the capital formation. So those don't ever go away, no matter who's the president or whether you're Republican or Democrat. Those are the core pillars of the SEC. So what happens is you get this focus on a particular cornerstone of theirs. And the protection of investors is pretty much the excuse Gary Gensler used for everything, right? Was the protection of investors. Yet one of their cornerstones is capital formation, helping companies become regulated and become operating within the rules and the regulations of the SEC, and creating those regulations so that companies can be compliant and work within. And he just didn't help with that at all. So facilitate capital formation. The SEC supports economic growth by fostering an environment where companies can raise capital efficiently while adhering to regulatory standards, balancing investor protection with market innovation. So whereas this administration is working with the companies to foster and perpetuate a marketplace, which is the crypto marketplace, Gary was just all about using the excuse of one of their cornerstones, investor protection, for everything. And it was so lopsided and so sad to see and watch, because he's supposed to, and they're all supposed to, use these three cornerstones to guide their decision making. And it just wasn't happening with him. What do you think about it, Jimmy Jim?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of the news these days doesn't affect. I mean, I can think back to Polygon, let's say, when they got their Disney deal. That was. I mean, you can go back and look at that on the map. There was significant movement. It just seems that when there are, I think there's two factors. One, maybe people don't fully understand the news that's coming out, so it doesn't impact them in a way as if it's something simple like we got to deal with Disney. People hear that Disney, boom, it does create a frenzy. I think that I think we're in a good place with the SEC. I think we're I would say arm's reach away from some additional legislation getting moved through that could again open up some doors. I feel good where we're at right now overall. I think we're just in one of those ho-hum periods that we go through every bull market. I think it's just going to be a little bit more patience, and really I think the end of September is going to tell us a lot.
Yeah. What's your take on it, Tex-Mex, Biomex?
Well, I think on the positive side, of course, Gensler's had like 125 lawsuits from 2021 to 2024 against crypto projects. So crushed a lot of markets, held a lot of projects up, of course, Atkins dropped the cases against Coinbase and Binance and Kraken, and it's kind of cleared some rules for trading and custody. But I also think that, are we swapping lawsuits for red tape? Some of the smaller companies or projects that are trying to get in might have a little bit more stricter ways to get in. And I know that there is like a 3-year window for small companies to get a waiver. But, so part of me is excited for what it does for crypto. The tinfoil hat side of me still is wondering what's in the other hand sometimes. But, that's just kind of what I think. I think that it's going to be a good thing for crypto. It's still, I think that we need some sort of way into, as much as we might like the degen side of crypto, I think we need to have some way into tie in financial markets and tie in TradFi in a way that gives it the use that we really, really want globally. I mean, I was listening to Charles Hoskinson talking about how we need to be able to tie into TradFi to be able to make that change, whether it's XRP, taking over, what is that thing called?
Swift.
I just lost my Swift. Thank you. I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Red. So whether it's XRP, taking over Swift, or is it more like XRP becomes another option and maybe allows Swift to start using blockchain technology? I don't know, some sort of a combination or some sort of I'm losing my train of thought again. Some sort of collaboration on that.
There you go. You found it.
Found it. I think I need some more coffee, maybe. It's not taco time yet.
Any thoughts on this particular topic, Dark Crash?
Sorry, can you hit me with the question?
You're muffled, Billy.
Billy, you got a bad sound.
Now I'm
You got it
muffled.
back up.
Now you're
There you
better.
Very good. You get too close to the microphone.
I think it's the cord too. It's loose. So we're just talking about Project Crypto and how all this positive legislation is coming out, and America being working to be number one, and the difference in the Fed or the SEC, their three cornerstones of how to manage and work with companies versus just using investor protection, and just your thoughts on that whole global thought process.
Well, that's exactly what we need from a macroeconomic perspective is something like Project Crypto, because what that'll do is it'll bring that societal integration and bring society and industry together, which is the issue right now. Obviously, we have access because we know how to do it, but how can we integrate that with business today? And that's something that we've seen PayPal take initiative on. They've introduced more, how do I say this, recently introduced more Bitcoin payments, I suppose. I forget exactly what that we're trying to accomplish there, but yeah, essentially this is what we need in correlation with the technicals I provided earlier. Like we're still kind of pending exactly that. We've seen a lot of massive world events lead to price action in Bitcoin, but this is something we need to prop it up that extra little leg further, is Project Crypto.
Yeah, I agree. Dave Digital, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, man. So I don't know if you guys saw the interview between Brian Armstrong and Sean Ryan, but Brian was kind of spilling the beans about how Lizzie Warren gave Gary a directive and promised him some big job after it was all done if he was anti-crypto, and they were hoping to smash it down. And so they didn't realize that they were going to have such a fight on their hands that they did have. So it's refreshing to see the new regime and the new people come in and say, hey, look, let's talk crypto. We do want to be the leaders in the world. So I knew something was dirty because we knew that Gary just flip-flopped. I mean, he was so pro-crypto when he was teaching his classes. And then it sounds to me from what Brian said that Lizzie got into his ear there, promised him the world. And he's like, sure, I'm that kind of guy. I'll say whatever you want me to say. So it's refreshing to have this new outlook. But like Bob X says, it could be a slippery slope. We just hope not. I mean, let's just hope they do it quickly before we have to vote again.
Yeah, and I'm glad you
Band-Aid off.
That's a good
Sorry.
point.
I'm glad you brought up that interview. So I did watch that. Sean Orion and Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase interview. So it's out there right now on YouTube. You need to check it out. He did drop a lot of connections and a lot of things that I was not expecting. And he did it kind of pretty flippantly, like almost like everything was open knowledge. And did you see at the beginning, Dave, they gave Sean Ryan gave him a handgun, a Glock.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a Glock. It was a
It was a P223.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't. It
6
was
hour.
Yeah, 6 hour. That's
it was
right.
a
It was a 6 hour. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that. And then Brian gave him back one of the first commemorative cards from the Coinbase. That was kind
Oh yeah, like one of 21 or something, wasn't it?
yeah,
It had the Genesis block on it.
yeah,
The Genesis block for Bitcoin.
You know, Sean's doing some. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed that Red is our in-house Sean Ryan, but Sean is doing some really, really, really good interviews right now. He just did Charles Hoskinson, he's did Brian Armstrong, and he also did the co-founder of Robinhood recently, which that's the only one I haven't watched yet. But he's on this little line of crypto-related interviews, and it's pretty fire.
Well, and that's another great point, Dave, because we're seeing a lot more, not just YouTubers, but a lot of mainstream media. Look at the difference in CNBC. Every single day, multiple times a day, they're bringing up crypto stories. So on their main network, because I know you can purchase with the app what's it called? Their crypto.
Boomer alert.
Crypto World or whatever. Yeah. But just a couple of years ago, I remember watching CNBC, and when Joe in the morning there would bring up anything Bitcoin, the rest of them would kind of like smirk at him and stuff. Nobody's smirking anymore because Joe, one of the anchors there, he's been a Bitcoin proponent for many years. And he always liked to talk about Bitcoin, but the rest of the team there, they just weren't sold on it. Now, every single segment, and even at the bottom, just a couple years ago, there was no, maybe it was 3 years ago for CNBC, but 36 months ago, they just did not update you on the price of Bitcoin. Now it's always being updated. It's like, it's part of it, just like the Russell, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and then you have Bitcoin. And they're really doing, I think, a good job covering the ETFs as well and what's going on with those. So it's amazing to see this turn, man. And it feels so good to be a part of this industry before all that big money, right? Before all those big giants come into it, before it was mainstream. So yeah. What's this? Squirrel Shine Bob. Y'all talking about this open the club nonsense, man? I ain't set foot in no club. Just sweaty folks flailing around in music that sounds like a possum caught in a tin can.
I think I met that guy one time. Squirrel Shine Bob.
Yeah, I know who he is. I know who Squirrel Shine Bob is. Oh.
Jimmy.
He's drinking that moonshine on the corner of us.
No, Squirrel Bob doesn't want us to do it. So
I think I met him too.
Oh man, Sin City gonna kill us, man. They're gonna kill us, Jimmy. They're gonna kill us. It is a tribute to Sin City, where the club opening started at, and will always be a Sin City tradition for sure.
Well, maybe we should just challenge them to a dance-off.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Just saying. I mean, there's some
I'll
new
vote
dancers
to
in town,
represent us.
boys.
Could be interesting. Let's Dark Crash did bring up PayPal, which is very interesting because one of the topics we want to talk about is just the stable coins and Visa's development here. Visa's new stable coin and chain spark a crypto payment revolution. Visa develops a global dollar and PayPal USD stable coins. So Visa advances the process of integrating stable coins by furthering the addition of new stable coins and blockchain networks to the Visa payment settlement infrastructure. The settlement infrastructure used by Visa now enables a greater number of currencies and chains. Stellar and Avalanche are two other blockchain networks that will be integrated into the system in addition to the to Ethereum and Solana. So just stop right there. Going back to my point, Jimmy, it's like in the stock world, like when somebody says, "Hey, Tesla is now going to use the new NVIDIA chip in this," what happens, man? NVIDIA's stock goes up, right? There's just this cross population, and here this is big news, right? So you would think Stellar and Avalanche getting these contracts, so to speak, right, in the stock world, you would think that this is significant, right? Because Visa's huge. Visa is huge. They are the stable coin basically of the credit payment system. So I don't know. Visa's a strengthened stablecoin portfolio with USDG and PYUSD. Visa partnered with Paxos, which will enable the introduction of more trusted dollar-backed stablecoins into its ecosystem. The new instruments that Visa has added to its portfolio are the global dollar, USDG, and PayPal, the PYUSD. Visa already has a stablecoin in its portfolio, and these extensions will give the partners more liquidity and settlement opportunities on blockchain networks. And this just goes on and on and on about how Visa is integrating different stables into their payment system. So now we have the largest credit card company really endorsing and using and going to be utilizing stable coins and blockchain network for settlement. Big news, man. What do you think about that, Redman?
Yeah, I think it's massive. I mean, we're going to see a ton of TradFi money come in the market for stablecoins. They've been pushing for this for a long time. You just saw Trump come out with his stablecoin, the World Liberty. But more importantly, I think Solana is going to have a major deal in this. I think stable coins are going to be used to buy RWAs, real world assets. Say that 5 times fast. But I think, Solana right now, even though Solana isn't directly building a DEX for RWAs, their ecosystem is. There's a bunch of Solana companies that are building DEXs specifically for RWAs, and stable coins are gonna finance a lot of this. Parcel, Homebase, Credix, Baxis, Collector Crypt, Agridex, Skytrade, Remora Markets. I mean, it even says right here, this is from Grok. It says R3 and Solana collaboration announced May 2025. R3, a leader in permission blockchain networks, is integrating its Corda platform with Solana to bring over 10 billion in regulated RWAs onto Solana's public blockchain. People are going to use stablecoins to buy this stuff. Ondo Finance is in here. Ondo's USDY and OUSG products backed by U.S. Treasuries were deployed on Solana in December 2023. Nobody talks about that. I didn't know about that. USDY holds a 41.9% market share of Solana's RWA value, contributing to the $418 million in tokenized assets, up to 140% year to date in 2025. This is coming. So this is coming, guys. Get prepared because RWAs are coming. I know it's been a long time, and Ondo's got that big partnership with BlackRock. Yeah. Uber bullish on Ondo, uber bullish on Solana. The ETF hasn't been dropped yet, but there's a lot of things cooking, and this stablecoin thing is just the beginning of it.
Yeah. What do you think, Jimmy Jim?
Yeah, I mean, it's more adoption. And I mean, it's just, one more tentacle, roping people in. I mean, I think it's one of those, the market is speaking differently, compared to the news type situation. The story's getting crushed, just because the market's been trending down. But yeah, I mean, that's all good stuff, man. No more adoption, the better.
I mean, when you're talking about Visa working to integrate blockchain technology for faster settlement, I mean, we all knew because we send crypto all over the place. We all knew what it could do, peer to peer or otherwise, business to business. And now to have these giants, it's almost like validating, right? Like this technology needed to be updated. And now you guys are validating that this is bona fide. This is bona fide technology that's just a better way to do business. And you get these giants like this, and it's just another validation. And that's why I just carry on like it's already happened, man. Like, in other words, on those core positions, like, I really don't. I mean, does it psychologically bother you when you got a big bag of XRP or Ethereum or Solana or ADA, and the market takes it down? Like you said, it's getting squashed, because like long term, it's already happened, man. It's already happened. Like, we're in the winning position right now. It's just that we just have to let more time erode, but we're already there. We're already in the winning positions. And so I just use that mentally, not to let it just wreck me, right? Sort of like in trading, you got to take all the emotion away. And when you know your play's good, it's good. It's just another form of mass adoption. You're right, Jimmy. What do you think, Tex-Mex, Biomex?
I think Visa's slogan is anywhere you want to go, right? Or something like that. Everywhere you want to be. And I think that they're just trying to move into not being left out of the different. Visa's all about capturing fees and making sure that they get the reward and having their name out there. So I think it's just a way for them to try to start to move into crypto as they see the broadening and going global and the US adoption. I think they just want to be at the forefront. And so, Stellar and Avalanche, obviously Stellar has low fees and Avalanche has high throughput, faster, cheaper transactions. So maybe they're just trying to get into the ball game early. And then the one thing I said in chat earlier is I don't know if PayPal really thought through their the coin name, or PYUSD. It just made me think of PU. But anyways, that's just my own take on that. So, I think it's a good thing. Any adoption that really grows is going to help. Stable coins are obviously a great way. Sometimes the crypto tokens have volatility, but having the stable coins allows it to be pegged to something. So yeah, I don't know, why did the stable coin go to therapy? If it had an identity crisis after losing its peg. There you go.
Tony throwing bombs today.
What you got? Any thoughts on this particular topic, Dave Digital?
I haven't seen any news coming out from Visa that moved the market since 2017. But with that being said, Jimmy's right. Adoption is adoption is adoption is adoption. And really what we're going to need to see is people need to not know they're using crypto and use crypto. That's really when adoption starts to happen, is when it happens behind the scenes, really. Whenever the people
Good
like the
point.
Visas and the MasterCards and stuff like that, whenever they bring it in, and that's just how things work. I think that's better. When people don't know what they're doing, it's better to get the mass adoption than whenever they have to figure it out themselves. So yeah, it's a good thing. But like I say, we haven't seen Visa or the word Visa move the markets dollar wise, price wise, since 2017. I don't think.
Yeah, agreed. Crash, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's just writing something down so I wouldn't forget. But payment settlements, that's like the most important thing right now. I feel is going to be one of the major catalysts going forward. So, and this is something crypto.com offers, is for business accounts, is reconciling your crypto. And that's obviously, we got quick settlement with transactions through coins like XRP, but then how do we obviously offload that? How can it be done automatically? There's many questions that a business might have with regards to transactions they would receive from customer, they would deal with customers. And settlements like that out of crypto.com are great, but the thing is, it's not as, how do I say this, business friendly, because they're trying to stay on stuff that's, again, more stable. And when big names like PayPal and Visa are making their moves like this, it's incredibly encouraging. And again, one of those catalysts is payment settlements right now, I think, more than any other kind of utility, as we try to normalize, again, with Project Crypto, trying to bring society and business together. That's my take on it.
Yeah, man. Well, right in that same vein, we have a lot of talk about stocks being tokenized. So you're talking about mass adoption. When stocks become tokenized, there's a lot of deals, I think. Let me see if I can find that. So we know Robinhood launched tokenized U.S. stocks and ETFs for some European customers, but Coinbase is seeking SEC approval for tokenized stock offering. So is Kraken. There's a lot of companies. It's the same stock, right? But it's going to be broken down into a tokenized manner. Just like I think you brought it up when we started, Redman, about the property that's what's that ticker for the token that you can buy if you're trying to tokenize real estate.
Oh,
Is it
prop C, I want to call it, but it's
something?
not.
Yeah, if you want to check that out. But
I'll
now to get into a point where we're tokenizing stocks, guys, tokenizing stocks. It's amazing what is happening underneath our feet right now. It's kind of like we were talking about last week, where we're sitting here a part of this AI revolution. When you go into the gas station and there's a robot that's sweeping the floor, or you go in a restaurant and there's this robot that's taking the dishes away. It's like happening in front of us, and we go and do our business and we kind of see it, but we don't think too much about it. But if you step back and reflect on what is like happening right as we're living underneath our feet and we're part of it, it's really mind blowing to me.
Prop chain.
There it is.
Prop chain. Yep. That gives you can buy basically fragments of, it says acquires and manages real estate. Prop yield creates fixed income investment products backed by real estate. Prop management operates properties using tech. Prop chain provides blockchain infrastructure for tokenization and data management.
So this whole idea, so we all know as crypto people, the fractionalizing has been used against us, right? So like banks, it went all the way down to zero during COVID, right? Or maybe it was 2008 or both. But basically, you put $1 in the bank and they can load out 80% of that buck over and over. And again, it's crazy. But with tokenization, it's kind of like puts that power into the people, meaning it will enable investors to just buy small portions of high value stocks, right? So something maybe they couldn't afford that now they can't afford because of tokenization. So instead of having to go in and buy a penny stock, which has a lot of risk, now they're going to be able to afford a blue chip stock via tokenization. It just kind of like lowers the barrier of entry for retail with blockchain. So it's a whole new era, a whole new age, and it's happening right in front of us. And I think this is going to really spawn a lot of retail and global investors because of the tokenization of stocks. I really do. I really think that like 3 years from now, this whole idea of tokenization of stocks or real estate, like the one you're talking about there, Red, I think it's just going to be, like you're saying, Dave, a way of doing business. Like people are going to be able to do it, not even thinking about the technology. It's just this is how I invest now. Crazy.
You know, I had never heard of Franklin Templeton until I got into the crypto space. I mean, maybe they were around. Maybe I had my head, stuck
they've been around a long time. Yeah.
I mean, I know they've been around now that I've learned about them, but I hadn't known about them until I got into crypto. And they actually have a fund. It's called the FTDA_US. And so Franklin Templeton has a tokenized share of funds that are on the Ethereum, Stellar, and Arbitrum and Base networks. So they've got 800 million invested so far. And, like you guys have said, it's just fractionalized trading of traditional stocks. So.
Because, guys, that opens it up to crypto trading 24/7. So unlike traditional stocks, you're going to be able to trade these tokenized, like Tesla. When you tokenize that stock, you're not bound to Monday through Friday anymore. It's really something that's mind-blowing. And I think
isn't that what Robinhood was doing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what, it's, yes, they have not in America. They're trying. They're seeking approval for that in America. I think they got approval over in Europe. I just don't know how much it's like launched out and actually, being utilized over there in Europe. Maybe that's something DDT can know a little bit more about. But that's where it's going, guys. The whole tokenization, the fractionalization of stocks, and of course that the real estate's been around for a while. So they have several deals. When I say several, it's hundreds of deals now that they've tokenized real estate, right? So there's so many different business ideas that could come up through this if you're so inclined and an entrepreneur and interested, even at the retail level. Like for me, real world, my brother, we bought this house together, remodeled it down the road. He moved back to Ohio. I'm, friends and family staying. It's actually where I'm going to have Crash's people stay. It's just, Crash is going to stay with us, but I'm going to have him stay in my brother's house. My point is, it's like, okay.
I think you mean Poe.
My point is, I mean Poe Man, not Crash. Sorry, Poe Man. Sorry, Poe Man. I'm trying to give your spot away. My point is that we could get into a situation where we tokenize that property and sell out individual ownerships to that property. And I guess in this business, that would be like a timeshare, right? Kind of thing. But the difference is it's like a stock. You actually own it. You have to create rules around that, of course. And you'd have to have some consensus mechanism that would say, if so many people wanted to sell it, or if someone gave them an offer, there'd be some sort of consensus mechanism to vote on that. So there's some footwork to do there, but you could do it, right? Because now the technology exists to tokenize different things. So very interesting to me, just mind-blowing to me, because I think we're just dawn of a new age, man. I think we're dawn of a new age.
Yeah, Billy.
Okay.
So I don't have enough. So think about it like this. This is the way I'm thinking about it, anyways. If I wanted to buy Allegiant Stadium, I couldn't. But if I could buy Allegiant Stadium's tokenized stock, and say the Raiders go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, I mean it's a chance in hell, but it could happen, right? It makes the property value of the Allegiant Stadium go up. Well, who benefits from that? The people that invested in the tokenized stock, right? Is that what you're trying to say? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it allows instead of just a super wealthy, it allows the normal ordinary person that's working hard every day a chance to own something that could really go up in value and appreciate over time without breaking the bank. It's sort of like when I talk to new people about Bitcoin, they always think that you got to buy a whole Bitcoin, right? They always, it's 115,000. I can't. No, man, you can buy $5 of Bitcoin, right? So in some way, it's similar to that, right? You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin, and it's yours. It's you get to own it. You get to own it. You get to put it in your wallet. Similar to your example, yeah, if you wanted to buy a piece of the stadium, they tokenize it. Same with artwork, right? You wanted to buy the Mona Lisa. You couldn't afford the Mona Lisa. Only the big money can go to those auctions and buy those fine pieces of art. But if that is a tokenized auction, it's coming. It's all coming. And we're right in the middle of it, man. I think it's just a really cool, interesting thing. All right, guys. Wow. Just like that, we're down with to the very end. We always like to push things over to Crypto Coin Mindset. They typically have a stream going on right after us, but we never end the stream until we have Jimmy's final thoughts.
I don't know if it's enough. odds. But yeah, we had another good week. We hit more bounties out there in the card world, and getting ready for our big show coming up in 2 weeks at Fort Bend County Epicenter. So if you're in the area, feel free to come by and see us. We got 3 tables out there. Uh, we missed out on going to the big national show this past weekend. Hopefully, we'll get back out there next year. It looks like a really, really good time up there. Get to see a lot of crazy, crazy cards. But yeah, man, that's about it.
Well, Jimmy, what is your guys' website or your YouTube channel?
It's on YouTube. It's at Space City Breaks.
Space
then
City
no-
Breaks. So for all of you in the audience that it might be your first time, you might not know what we're talking about. He and his boy have a YouTube channel, and they buy all different kinds of cards, like sports cards, movie cards, all different,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
all different
All
kinds
kinds
of
of different
cards. And they're killing it, man. Number one, it's good. A father-son situation going on there. They have a YouTube channel, and these breaks he's talking about is where you get a box and you open them up. Each of the packets, you find out what's in them. Are they valuable? Are they not valuable? And it's pretty exciting. It's pretty suspenseful because, you pour sometimes, Jimmy, what? A whole box costs several $100s, right?
Yeah, I mean, some of the boxes that they're opening, $3,000, $6,000. You get into some of the high-end flawless stuff, and it's not a lot of cards. I mean, some of them you're getting some you get 1 card, some you get 3, some you might get 10, but they're real limited runs. They're definitely on the higher end of the spectrum, but on average, I mean, anywhere between 250 and 400, per box, and then they'll have 3 or 4 boxes in each break. So you're getting a a fractionalized or a tokenized amount of that box for your money.
And so when we went to the Bitcoin conference, Bitcoin 2025, they had some Bitcoin crypto related boxes that we bought. I opened my box here on air a few episodes ago, and it pulled some pretty good cards out of it, because even in the crypto market, even in the Bitcoin space and here in crypto space, there's a crossover between these collectible cards and the crypto. And so Jimmy Jim and his boy Tackleberry, they're on both sides of this. They're in the crypto side and they're in the collector card side. And Jimmy pulled a very rare card out of the Mickey Mouse or the Disney
The
collection.
Disney set.
Yeah, the Disney set. Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, speaking of cardsmiths, I mean, I just got in our first shipment from those guys that had the Space series, and then we've already pre-ordered their Summer Currency series and the Currency 5 series that'll be coming out at the end of August.
So that's the crypto stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All 3 of those series have crypto redemptions in them. Either Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Dogecoin. I think those are the 4, and there are multiple denominations, and then multiple redemption cards. So I mean, you can pull a full Bitcoin, out of a pack. It's possible.
Man, I'll have to get one of those from you or something. Yeah, we'll have to do it.
Contact over there at Cardsmiths, and they're actually up at the National this past weekend. And I've been egging him, and he sent me a message this past week. He said, "Hey, let me get through these next couple of shows and see what we can do." So I'm trying to get them to come on and talk about the product. It's a lot of fun, especially if you have kids and you're already into any sports cards or they're in the sports cards. Yeah, it's a good crossover. I really enjoyed the products that they're putting out for sure.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Jimmy Jim. All right, guys. Anybody have any final words before we head on out? Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, share this out. We appreciate all of you, all of our mods, everybody in blue, especially, and everybody in here. Mortimer, Dutchy, you guys, we love you guys. Crabman. Crabman says, what cards? Yeah, they're kind of like sports cards, and they're like crypto cards. We opened some about 3 or 4 weeks ago on air. So that's what he's talking about, Crabman. It's kind of like a crossover between crypto and sports card collecting. Very cool. We'll definitely be bringing this guy on to talk about it. Just another way to be involved in the crypto space. But with that said, guys, anybody have any? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, did you see that there was a leaked tape from Joe Rogan and President Donald Trump?
Oh yeah, we were going to play that.
Let's go.
Let's look at that.
Let's play that real quick.
Right on the way out.
Man, I gotta say, the Billy Goat Tales team, they've built something incredible. It's like a digital campfire where everyone's just sharing and growing.
Joe, I've seen it. Tremendous work. Tremendous. These guys, they're winners. Winners attract winners, you know?
Totally. And their philosophy, like givers gain, it's like the more you give, the more you get back. It's kind of beautiful, man.
Beautiful, Joe. Beautiful. That's the kind of thinking we need to make America great again. I'm telling you, we need these guys on the team.
You're serious? You want to bring them on board?
Absolutely. They've got the magic touch, community, connection, growth. It's all there. We'll call it the Billy Goat strategy.
The Billy Goat strategy? I like it. It's got a ring to it.
Joe, you and I, we're going to make this happen. Big things, Joe. Big things.
I love it. Compliments of our own head of digital production, Dave Digital. That was awesome, man. Great job.
Yeah, man,
all right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. We'll see you around the blockchain world here. I'm certain starting tomorrow, right? And all the other YouTube streams. Don't forget, on Tuesday at 8 p.m., we have Frankie Candles coming on. It's going to be awesome. We're really going to deep dive into some of Frankie's stuff going on. And, of course, support all these creators like Alex O Crypto and Crypto Lifer and Frankie and Miss Teen Crypto and just Crypto Crow. He came on last week, did a great job with us. So we just want to share the love out. Givers gain. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks again.